No weapons of mass destruction were found.
Are you kidding me? Do you buy that? There were.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white.
Come on, let us shoot.
He would always
Blair.
win by bang, bang. He shot me down, bang, bang.
Hey, I need to get the brass to drop ramps. I got a wounded girl. We need to take the rest of mile. Oh, it's their fault for bringing their kids to a battle. That's right.
The main reason we went into Iraq at the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass destruction. But I also talked about the human suffering in Iraq.
Hello, boys and girls. I have a special message for you from the President of the United States. I salute the boys and girls who are buying United States savings stamps and bonds, and they're giving important support to the cause of freedom and the men who fight for us in Vietnam.
Congress gave us this authority in August 1964 to do whatever may be necessary. That's pretty far-reaching. That's the sky's the limit.
As an American citizen, you have to respect our president, whether I like it or not. It's really not my decision, but I do respect my president, and I will support whatever decision he makes.
Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang.
It is a hard fact that U.S. strikes have resulted in civilian casualties.
Now he's gone, I don't know why. Until this day, sometimes I cry. He didn't even say goodbye, he didn't take the time to lie.
The United States knows that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction.
One of the first things they told me was, you're not even to acknowledge the drone program. You're not even to discuss that it exists.
Renewed hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas and the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply. That reply is being given.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation, it's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
That's right. And when we've got presidents doing corrupt things and lying and getting our military into fraudulent wars, it doesn't mean we're against the military to speak out against it. It means we're for the country and for the military. And our military has been sent into these last few set of wars to destabilize the Middle East as part of a long-term plan to then bring in the Wahhabists and the Saudi Arabian jihadis and take over not just the Middle East, but much of Central Asia, much of the countries bordering Russia, much of Europe, and to then even colonize the UK. There's an incredible video that we've had to bleep that's up on Infowars.com in England. And I personally have experienced this with the radical Muslims that live there, where I'll be videotaping the entrance of a hotel that I'm going in to interview an MI6, agent that particular time, whistleblower. And there's some Muslims in their garb across the street. I mean, they look like they're about 2 inches tall from 100 yards away walking up the street. And before they even get close, they're screaming and cussing at me to turn my camera off and not to videotape them. Now, there's government cameras all over the place videotaping. And I noticed that the Brits all start bowing down and groveling to them, but they come over and get my face, and I start yelling back. I say, number one, you're in a public place. I'm videotaping this building as a cutaway shot. And I said, shut up and stop yelling at me. I've got a TV show. I'm getting a cutaway of the building, so I can go in and say, I went to interview such and such. And it shows a cutaway of where I interviewed them. People like that. It's called making a film. I made 20-something of them. But the point was, I wasn't even videotaping them. And they came and got in my face. And that's the attitude when you run into the Muslims in France, in Germany, or in England. And this was their attitude 10 years ago. First time I went to England was 7/7. That was about 10 years ago. Been there many times since. And I just had Muslims all over coming out of their way to get in my face and say, shut up, because they didn't like seeing a Brit uppity. See, the Brits have already been given imperial conditioning to be submissive to the government, submissive to the crown, or they'd get killed. It was one of the most rambunctious, rebellious groups ever. In fact, the Romans could never conquer them. One of the few groups they couldn't. But hundreds of years of mind control and conditioning, they are very, very cowed. So are the American people. I'm not bashing people in England. That's where my name's Welsh. But the point is that they have fallen quite a bit. And there's a video, you know, since I mentioned it, let's just play it now. Let me go ahead and scroll back over so I can see it on InfoWars, Infowars.com. Yes, it's called You Look Like Pork, shock video. And this is the exact thing I've run into in England. And my crew ran into it in France last year when there were more terror attacks and bombings and truck attacks. People would come over 100 yards away and stomp up and say, you get out of this neighborhood, you get out of here, you turn your camera off. And guys in cars would start following. I mean, these are no-go zones. And what happens is, especially in England, when the Muslims move into your neighborhood, then they start burning your cars at night. I'm not saying this guy or his family, but this has been on the news. They start burning your cars if you're a native person until you move out of the area. That then drives down prices in the houses, and then more folks can move in. So it's a deliberate scenario to drive down prices and to lower the cost in the area. This is a strategy. Yes, I heard you open the mic up. Go ahead. Yes, Tim Pool. Absolutely. He comes on. He's in Linkby, a no-go zone. He gets video of it. It's incredible. In fact, there are, when I say hundreds, that's conservative. There are thousands of videos in England alone in the no-go zones where you just walk down the street politely and people come over and punch you right in the face. Journalists forced to leave migrant suburb in Sweden after being followed by masked men. And you see the BBC gets beat up. And the point is, this is what's being imported. But if you want to import it, you first got to blow up the countries, destabilize them, and then fund the most radical groups to come in and force the Islamic nations to convert to an even more barbarous, hardcore form of jihadism. It's truly, truly sickening. So you have to ask yourself, what are the social engineers doing? Well, they admit in Sweden and Germany and France and everywhere else, they're bringing in groups that are, quote, anti-European, anti-white, anti-Christian, and the Pope says he doesn't want to hear about Christianity in Europe. It disgusts him. So again, this is meant to put people in their balkanized groups so everyone actually retreats into their racial or religious enclaves. Then the government controls all these ghettos that they have basically set up. It's the prison model of management. And look, I know all of you know this, but one reason this broadcast is successful, changing the world, is at least a couple times a week I spend 10, 15 minutes exposing the globalist model and how it operates and how it's feudalistic and anti-human. So people know, who are new listeners, what they're facing and can recognize it when they see it being pushed on the news. Or we come back and break down the divide and conquer and the big goals, and then we give you new examples as it's happening, and then cover all the latest factoids. I also want to get into what I think Trump and Sessions should do at this point, coming up here in a few minutes. But since we have this video and I'm talking about it, I should go ahead and play it now. But it's fascinating how the white guy that the Muslim bully is trying to intimidate looks like he's about 6'4", 6'5", 260, 270 pounds. And the guy's got big shoulders. He's big. And he fights back with political correctness and says, no, you are being racial because you're attacking my religion as well. And this guy knows that that's how he's gotten Europe to lay down and submit to him. So he does kind of shift gears once he's called the racist. Because he understands this is the power that's made the lion lay down to the mouse. He understands that. Just like the mayor of London. So he then runs over to attack the woman to try to spit on her and to try to hit her, and does hit her. And it's a short clip, but it just illustrates everything of this guy anywhere in the United States, unless he was in Berkeley or other areas where they only have chicken necks for some reason. This guy would have been laid out, his jaw broken, just like that. His nose would have been smashed in really fast when he hit a woman. But see, men have been trained, whether it's in Germany, you name it, to allow women to be attacked, to be, you name it, because the new culture of being a Western male, I don't care if you're white, Hispanic, what you are, is to be a cuck, is to be a coward that lays down. Unless you're in a mass of other liberals, then you attack women. So you will know them because they attack women, whether they're Islamicist, whether they are trendies, whether they're Black Bloc, whether they're Black Lives Matter, anarchists, doesn't matter. They revel in attacking the Blue Cat Cafe, cat sanctuary, and protesting it every week, and knocking the windows out and putting super glue in the keyholes and stuff so that people can't get in and the cats starve to death. They revel in bullying whatever's weakest because that's their spirit. And so this is what the government of England thinks it needs more of. Here it is.
Yo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you got?
I f***ing live in this country, you prick.
Yeah, me too.
F***ing knobhead. Vet vad ni pudding det där.
Yeah.
Yeah, kurva your mum, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah?
You're not allowed.
I'll fucking move your fucking phone out my face before...
Hey, wait a minute, guys. You said you had that bleeped. Yeah, there's two... The problem is we have to delay that. All of it's cussing, so we can't play it. Can we get the part where he talks about you look like pork? All right, we're gonna see what's going on. We got it. Let's go ahead and try again. Here we go.
Pork and you look...
Yeah.
You pig. You pussy.
Yeah. This is racist.
Yeah. How's that
This
racist?
is racist.
I call you a pork bastard. I didn't call you a white bastard.
Based on religion.
Oh,
based,
really,
man.
really,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Pull the fancy, Charlene. I want to see what this motherfucker gonna do.
Gangster.
Yeah. Your mum's a gangster, you son of a bitch. F off. Yeah, you. Stupid bitch. This ain't your country.
You don't even... You don't even try to do that.
Leave your move it then.
Don't...
Then he starts attacking the woman, and I'm not going to play anymore. There's too much cussing. It's hard to bleep it when every other word is a cuss word, but we caught that, right? Oh, good. Okay, we caught it. Good. So we're on a bunch of FCC stations. All these people on the internet go, oh, why do you care about he cusses on the internet? We're on over 200 radio stations, so we don't let cuss words go out. We're still under FCC regulations. Obama wants the FCC to run the internet, but oh, guess what? He's not president anymore. And so we enter into the next problem. And that's that we had Holder yesterday in 3 different articles. In fact, will you guys pull those for me? Because I didn't cover those enough. There was a InfoWars, a Zero Hedge, a Washington Times, and then like even a Washington Post. There were 5 of them. It was Obama is coming, close quote. He's ready to roll. He's got a bunker compound with Valerie Jarrett in it, filled with all these activists and operatives and George Soros money. And they say they admit they want to overthrow Trump. It's just mind-blowing. Obama, handler Valerie Jarrett, moves into his D.C. bunker. Daily Mail. Sources Obama and co. working to oust Trump. Well, I guess if Obama's coming, Holder, does that mean he's coming in between 4 months of vacationing and playing golf almost every day and having $65,000 worth of hot dogs delivered to his hotel room? If you're a new listener, I'm not kidding. That's in the WikiLeaks. We're not talking about regular hot dogs here. We did some investigating. High-dollar male escorts, $2,000 an hour, $65,000 worth delivered in one day to an Obama party. I mean, that is quite an orgy. And the point is that this is how disconnected this guy is, arrogantly still trying to be president when he wasn't president for 8 years, and all he tried to do was run the country in the ground in between playing golf and enjoying succulent hot dogs. Obama's goal to oust Trump from presidency via impeachment or resignation. Paul Joseph Watson wrote about the quotes yesterday where Obama admitted it all in the New York Times. But guess what? It gets better. Just a week before, they attacked Trump saying, I believe Obama is behind the movements to block my administration and kick me out of office, and the media said, Trump's crazy. Look at him attacking a fellow president. There's no such thing going on. While it's all been organized. And that leads us to the next issue. Obama administration rushed to preserve intelligence of Russian election hacking. That means saving it outside the administration. They go on to say transferring it to the media illegally. Remember, Trump said these are illegal leaks from Obama. It's criminal. And guess what? Obama didn't pardon himself for that. He illegally gave the couple phone calls made legally and the transcripts by Flynn to the media to start this thing going. And then now, see, you fed the pirate, Trump. You're a smart guy. But you tried to appease Pence and other Republicans, the same Republican establishment on the Hill that's out to get you, to show that you were going to be tough on Russia and to show you'd throw Flynn overboard. And now, Sessions is asked specifically, we are told about surrogates in the campaign that are talking to the Russians on a daily basis, and you're a surrogate. Do you have any knowledge of this? No, Senator, I don't, he said in the confirmation hearing. We played this yesterday. No, sir, I don't. And I'm a surrogate. We're not talking to the Russians. None of us that I know. Well, clearly, as a lawyer, he was asked, as a surrogate in the campaign, have you talked to the Russians? They'll tell you the first thing you're talking to lawyers is answer the question. Not, well, I haven't talked to him as a surrogate in the campaign, but I've talked to him in my capacity as a senator. They would say, objection non-responsive to a lawyer. I didn't ask you about as a senator. I asked you as about a surrogate in the campaign. And a lawyer, you can see Al Franken wrote that, knowing how to trick another lawyer. That's why lawyers kind of get in a rut, kind of in a brainwash mode, I've noticed, of their own brainwashing, their own soup. They've been cooked in their own juices. And that they just get so robotic about answering the question exactly as it was answered that then they sit there and give answers like they're in a deposition when they're in front of the Senate, and they use the fact that he answered it so truthfully and so exactly against him. Sessions laughs at it and says, look, I answered it exactly as I was asked. Notice that's lawyer speak. And they go, oh, but you met with the Russian ambassador twice. And he goes, well, yes, in my capacity as a senator. Still answer it like a lawyer. Exactly right. I'd say everybody meets with him. This is outrageous. This is baloney. This is a joke. But see, he's a lawyer and a good one. But he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. When we come back, though, turns out this ambassador is up the rear end of the Democrats. The meetings, we're going over the numbers right now with my research team. It looks like from our preliminary research, it's 3-to-1 visits with the Democrats than Republicans in the last year.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.